Welcome back to part 2 of our discussion on ratio and proportion. In the previous session, we have explored the basics of ratios and their significance in comparing the quantities. So in this session, we'll continue our different models. And our next model is a boys and girls questions. So in this model, we generally come across that a question gives a total number of students in a class or a number of boys and a number of girls, and we need to find total members. Or else they'll give total number and they'll ask us to find total number of boys and total number of girls. So these are the problems which we can face in boys and girls questions. So our very first question is, in a class of 120, the ratio of boys to the girls is 5:7. Find the number of boys and girls. So here total number of students are given and the ratio is also given. So they're asking to find out number of boys and girls. Okay, these are not the values, these are the ratios. So we always need to consider them as x. 5x is to 7x. Okay, they given a total quantity and we also know that ratios. They said that a class contains 120 means it is a combination of both boys and girls, which means that 5x plus 7x becomes 120. So which is 12x equals to 120, x becomes 10. So based on this, we can easily find out number of boys and number of girls. Number of boys is 50 and number of girls is 70. Is it clear? Moving to the next question. A school has 540 students. The ratio of boys and girls is 4:5. If 15 more boys join and 10 girls leave, find the ratio. So this is an important question. So all the questions might be in the same pattern. So look at this very carefully. They given a total number of students and they gave an initial ratio. This is a ratio. Along with ratio, they give two values. So they're asking us to find a new ratio. Okay, first let's write down what's given. So they're saying that girls and boys are in the ratio of 4:5. Okay, 4:5 is the ratio of boys and girls. First, and they're also given us the total number of students. Based on this total number of students, we can easily find out number of boys and number of girls. How? The ratio of boy is 4 and the total number of parts is 9. So 4 by 9 into total number of members in the class. So this gives us a number of boys in the class. So cancellation is possible, I think. 9 ones, 9 6, 54. So 6 fours, 24. So total number of boys are 240. And among 540 minus 240, we can easily find out number of girls, which is 300. So we know that number of boys, number of girls. But they are saying if 15 boys join and 10 girls leave, which means 240 plus 15 is to 300 minus 10 girls leaving, right? So 300 minus 10. This gives us a new ratio, which is 255 is to 290. I think there is a possible of cancellation. 551 times, 558 times. So new ratio is 51 is to 58. Okay, I think it's clear. Moving on to the next question. In a school of 1800 students, the ratio of boys to the girls is 5:4. So total number of students given, ratio is also given. If 10% of boys and 20% of girls join a sports event, the ratio of boys to girls in the sport event. So they are not asking the entire ratio. They're asking only the sports event ratio. So okay, let's start finding out number of boys and number of girls. We know that ratio is 5:4 and the boys count is 5 and the total parts are 9. 5 by 9 into 1800 gives us the boys count. So total number of boys are 1000. So there are 1000 boys and 1800 minus 1000 gives the girls, which is 1800 girls. Now we can see that 1000 boys are there and 800 girls are there. So and they are saying that 10% of boys and 20% of girls join the sports event. So among 1000, 10% means, so 10% of 1000, which means that 10 divided by 100 into 1000. Cancelling these two zeros, so we get 100. So 100 boys are interested in joining the sports event. Similarly, we can find out 20% of 800. So that is 20 divided by 100 into 800. Again, two zeros cancel. It was 16. So 160 girls are interested in joining the sports event. So ratio of number of boys and number of girls. So that is 100 is to 160. which implies 5:8. So the ratio of girls and the boys interested in joining the sports event is 5:8. Moving on to the next question. So this question you guys do. The ratio of number of boys to the girls in a group becomes 2:1 when 15 girls leave. Okay, this is saying that this is not an initial ratio. It is a ratio when 15 girls leave. But afterwards, when 45 boys also leave, the ratio becomes 1:5. An interesting question. They didn't give the initial ratio of girls and boys. So let's assume girls as X or boys as X and girls as Y. Now the ratio of boys and girls is X:Y. The first line says the ratio of number of boys to the girls in a group becomes 2:1 when 15 girls leave. This is saying that 15 girls leave, which means Y minus 15 because only girls are leaving. No, so Y minus 15 is the ratio of number of girls present. Given ratio is 2:1. So what we write, X boys didn't leave. So X divided by Y minus 15 becomes 2:1. Is it clear? I hope it's clear. So by cross multiplication, we find that X equals to 2Y minus 30. So this is the first equation. And next it's saying that, but afterwards, which means that even after 15 girls are leaving, 45 boys also leave. Okay, which means that X minus 45 divided by Y minus 15 equals to, ratio becomes 1:5, 1/5. From this we get an equation, 5X equals to Y plus 210. So these are the equations which we got. By solving these equations, we get the solution. Okay, let's rewrite the equations. X equals to 2Y minus 30 and 5X equals to Y plus 210. So this is considered as equation 1. This is considered as equation 2. So we can substitute this X value here. So what we get, 5 into 2Y minus 30 equals to Y plus 210. So this is the equation. By solving it, 10Y minus 150 equals to Y plus 210. Further solving, we get Y equals to 40, which means that Y represents girls. So there are 40 girls originally. And boys, we get X equals to 50. So original number of boys, okay, they didn't ask about the boys. They only asked about original number of girls in the group, which was 40. I hope it's clear. And the next model is ages. Ages means they give a ratio of ages between two people. Suppose Rana and Prabhas, they can give that their ratios such as 3:5, and they ask us to find the current ratios or the ratio after 10 years or the ratio 5 years ago. They can ask any kind of questions based on their ages. The first question is, the ratio of the ages of two students is 4:3. One is older than the other by 6 years. What is the age of elder one? Okay, they're saying that two people's age are in the ratio of 4:3, and among the two, one is 6 years older than the other. Let's consider that I'm 10 years old and my cousin is 16 years old. So what can I say? My cousin is 6 years older than me. How can I say that difference between our ages is 6? Similarly, as these are ratios, we consider them with x values, 4x and 3x. Difference between our ages is 6, which means 4x minus 3x equals to 6x. Sorry, 6. So 4x minus 3x is 6, which means that x equals to 6. Based on x value, we can easily find out the ages of the people. 4x gives us 24 and 3x gives us 18. Among 24 and 18, 24 is the elder one. They asked us to find the age of elder one, right? So age of elder one is 24. The ratio of ages of two sisters is 5:6. After 2 years, the ratio will be 7:8. What will be the ratio of their ages after 12 years? Okay, they have given the current age, and after 2 years, their ratio will be 7:8. Means they gave the current age ratio and after 2 years ratio. They're asking us to find out after 12 years what would be their ages ratio. Let's write down the ratios first. 5 and 6. And after 2 years, the ratios will become 7 and 8. After 2 years, the ratios become 7 and 8. And they're asking us what would be the ratios after 12 years. After 12 years, we need to find out their ratio. Okay, these are ratios as we consider them as 5x and 6x. 5x and 6x. They said that after 2 years, the ratio will be 7:8, which means that from now, which means from 5x, when we add 2, and similarly when we add from 6 to 2, the ratio will be 7/8, 7:8. By simplifying this, we get x equals to 1. If x equals to 1 means we know that the current ages, the ratios are in 5:6, which means that they are 5 years and 6 years. It's easy now to find out the ages after 12 years, just simply adding 12 to each. So 5 plus 12 becomes 17 and 6 plus 12 becomes 18. So the ratio after 12 years becomes 17 is to 18. Moving next. Jyoti is 40 years old and Lahari is 60 years old now. How many years ago was their ratios was 3 is to 5? Okay, now they didn't give ratios. They directly gave their ages. So 40 years and 60 years. And they are asking us how many years ago their ratio was 3 is to 5. So similar to the previous question, it's simply subtracting. There we just simply added 2 years. Here we need to subtract. Since we don't know that how many years, let's consider that years as x. We know that. So these are the values. So we can directly write that 40 and 60. 40 minus x divided by 60 minus x equals to 3 by 5, which means that 200 minus 5x equals to 180 minus 3x. So which becomes 5 minus 3, 2x. 2x equals to 20. That means x equals to 10, which means 10 years ago their ages were in the ratio of 3 is to 5. This is a simple question. Next, you guys have tried this problem and let me know. Moving forward, our next model is coins. Coins plays a very important role so in finding the ratios and proportions. Coins are of two types. So one is they give the total value. They'll give total value. They ask to find out total coins. And the second model, they'll give total coins and they'll ask us to find the value of each coin present. So these are the two types of coins. We'll discuss them. Our first question is a bag contains 420 rupees in the denominations of 5 rupees, 2 rupees and 1 rupee coins in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 5. Find the number of 2 rupee coins. Okay, this comes under type number 1 where a total amount is given and they're asking us to find number of coins. Okay, let's write down the denominations given and the ratios given. 5, 2, 1 and the ratios are 2, 3 and 5 as all are given in the same ratio, which means all are in either in rupees or all must be in either pies. If one thing is in rupee and one thing is in pies, we need to convert them. We'll discuss it in next problems. So as of now, all are in rupees. There is a no problem. We just simply multiply them. 5 2s are 10, 2 3s are 6, and 5 1s 5. So these are the ratios. What we need to do for ratio, we'll just simply add x. So 10x, 6x, 5x is the ratio. And they're saying that a bag total contains 420 rupees, which means that the sum of 10x plus 6x plus 5x becomes 420. So 10 plus 6, 16, 16 plus 5, 21. 21x equals to 420, which means that x equals to 20. And they're asking us to find number of 2 rupee coins. We know that 2 rupee coins are in the ratio 3. So 3 into 20 becomes 60. Therefore, there are 62 rupee coins in a bag which contains the total amount of 420 rupees. In a bag, there are three types of coins, 1 rupee, 50 pice and 25 pice in the ratio 1 is to 2 is to 3. And the total value is 55 rupees. Find the total number of 1 rupee coins. This is again a type 1 model. So they give the demonstrations, denominations, and here there is a combination of rupee and a pice. So now we need to convert either rupee into pice or pice into rupee. But it's easy to convert pice into rupee. So first we need to have a basic idea that to make up a 1 rupee, we need 250 pice. We need 250 pice, and to make up a 1 rupee we need 425 pice coins. So this is the basic detail which we need to know. Okay, coming to the problem, let's write down the ratio and the rupees. So 1 rupee, 50 pice, this is 50 pice and 25 pice, and the ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 3. So as this is the ratio, we consider them by taking x. So 1x, 2x and 3x. So we need 250 pice. So what we do is we multiply with 1 by 2. And here we need 425 pice coins. So we multiply with 1 by 4. 2 gets cancelled. And we take an LCM for this. 4 becomes the LCM. 4x is to, again 4x is to 3x is equals to total amount, which is 55. So now what becomes, we'll add all this. 4 plus 4, 8. 8 plus 3, 11. 11x equals to 220. That implies x becomes 20. When we know the value of x, it's easy to find out each share. So they asked us to find 1 rupee coin. As 1 rupee coin is 1x, so there are 20 1 rupee coins. So there are 20 1 rupee coins. Our next question is 480 coins consists of 1 rupee, 50 pice, 25 pice coins, and the values are in the ratio of 2 is to 3 is to 4. Find the number of 50 pice coins. This comes under the second model where number of coins are given, and they're asking us to find out number of 50 pice coins. A simple difference between type 1 and type 2 is in type 1 we just multiplied with 1 by required number of coins. Here, instead of doing 1 by, we directly multiply with number of coins, which makes up the given denominations. I hope it's clear. Let's do a problem. So it's given that 1 rupee, 50 pice and 25 pice. And we also write down the ratios 2, 3 and 4. So when there is a rupee, there is no issue with that. So we write it 2 as it is. And instead, as I said, that how many 50 pice coins are there are required? 2. What we did in the previous model is we multiplied with 1 by 2. Here, instead of multiplying with 1 by 2, we simply multiply it with the ratio 3 into 3. Simply, how many 25 pice coins are required? It's 4. So 4 into 4. This is the ratio. 2 is to 6 is to 16. Cancellation 1, 3s and 8 times. So the ratio is 1 is to 3 is to 8. Now let's add by adding x. So sum up all these. 8x plus 3x, 11x, 11x plus x becomes 12x. So 12x becomes 480 coins. Then x becomes 40. So when we know the value of x, we can easily find out number of 50 pice coins in the total number of coins. So this is not a value. This is not a value. This is a total number of coins. So what we need to find the number of 50 pice coins. 50 pice coins are in the ratio 3x. So 3 into 40. 3 into 40 becomes 120. So total 120 50 pice coins are there in the 480 coins. I hope this is understandable. So our next question is 660 coins consist of 1 rupee, 50 pice and 20 pice coins in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 5. Find the number of 20 pice coins. Same thing. 1 rupee, 1 rupee, 50 pice. It's not 20, it's 50. 1 rupee, 50 and 20. They're in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 5. So there is no problem with rupees. So we simply write 2 as it is. And we require 250 pice coins. So we write 3 into 2. And how many 20 pice coins makes 1 rupee? Means 5. 5 20 pice coins are required to make a rupee. So we multiply 5 into 5, which becomes 2, 6 and 25. And then we add all the parts. So all these parts becomes equals to 660. 25 plus 2, 27. 27 plus 6, 33. 33x equals to 660. And x becomes 20. And when x is 20, they asked us to find total number of 20 pice coins. 20 pice coins are in the ratio of 25. So 25 into 20, which gives 500. So number of 20 pice coins are 500. So that's it about the coins. Next, moving on to the important model, which is milk and water. So in this model, we find that we'll be given a ratio. Example 2 is to 3. So this might be a milk and water ratio. They ask us what amount should be added. So as to make ratio 4 is to 8. These kind of questions will be asked in milk and water ratios. We'll solve one by one. So in the first question, in a mixture of 100 liters of ratio of milk and water are 2 is to 3. So total mixture is of 100 liters. In 100 liters, a milk and water are in the ratio 2 is to 3. Find the quantity of water to be make so that the ratio becomes 1 is to 2. Okay, initially they said that ratio is in 2 is to 3 and the total amount is 100. So let's add up, which becomes 5 parts. 5 parts becomes 100. 1 part becomes 20. So here it's saying that 2 is to 3 ratio. When 1 part is 20, 2 parts is 40. 3 parts is 60. This is in the ratio 1 is to 3. But what they're asking, what's the ratio so as to become 1 is to 2? So 40 remains same. 40 remains same. 1 is to 2. 42 is 80. So how much is added? 20 is added. So answer is 20. 20 liters is added. So that ratio becomes 1 is to 2. Our next question is a mixture of 40 liters of milk. 40 liters of milk and water contains 10% water. How much more water is to be added so that to make water 20%? Okay, when percentages are given, we can solve it very easily. So initial one, it's given as 10%. For percentages, we always consider that a percent is 100%. And for 100%, the initial water is 10. We need to make it as 20. So we need to make it as 20. When it is given in a percentage, what we do is simply subtract them. 10 minus 20, it's 10. Don't bother about the sign, just subtract them. 100 minus 20, it's 80. So this is in the ratio 8 is to 1, which means that for 8 liters of milk, we need to add 1 liter water so that to make the water 20%. So what we got ratio is 8 is to 1. But what we want, a mixture of 40 liters. For 40 liters, we need to add. For 8 liters, 1 liter of water should be added. For 40 liters of milk, how much should be added? So this is 5 times. So we simply multiply it with 5, which means 5 liters. Therefore, 5 liters of water should be added to make it water 20%. Next question. 2 vessels contain milk and water in the ratio 3 is to 2 and 7 is to 3. Find the ratio in which the contents of 2 vessels have to be mixed to get a new mixture in which the ratio of milk and water is 2 is to 1. Till now we deal with only 1 vessel and now it's 2 vessel. The ratio is 3 by total number of parts becomes 5. 3 by 5 and 2 by 5. And this becomes 7 by 10 and 3 by 10. When these two is added, we need 2 by 3 and 1 by 3. As we see the final ratio, water is constant and we just need to focus upon the milk. So we just only take milk quantities 3 by 5, 7 by 10, so as to make 2 by 3. We just simply subtract 7 by 10 minus 2 by 3, which gives 1 by 30, and 3 by 5 minus 2 by 3 gives us 1 by 15. Taking LCM of 30 and 50, we get LCM as 30, and we get ratio as 1:2. Therefore, to get a new mixture in which ratio should be 2:1, a 1:2 ratio should be added. This you guys try it out. That's it about ratios and proportions. We'll meet you in the next aptitude series.